Federalism. Today we will start a new chapter, Federalism. Now let's see the overview of the chapter. In in the previous chapter, we noted that vertical division of powers among different levels of government is one of the major form of power sharing in modern democracies. In this chapter, we focus on this form of power sharing. It is mostly common referred to as federalism. We begin, we begin with describing federalism in general terms. The rest of the chapter tries to understand the theory and practice of federalism in India. A discussion of federal constitutional provisions is followed by an analysis of the policies and politics that has strengthened federalism in practice. Towards the end of the chapter, we turn to the local government and new and the third type of Indian federalism. Now, these all things we will see in this chapter. Now, what is federalism? Let us get back to the contrast between Belgium and Sri Lanka that we saw in the last chapter. You would recall that one of the key changes made in Constitution of Belgium was to reduce the power of the central government and to give this power to regional government. Regional government existed in Belgium even earlier. They had their roles and powers, but all these powers were given to these governments and could be withdrawn by the central government. The change that took in 1993 was that the regional government were taken constitutional power powers that were no longer dependent on the central government. Thus, Belgium shifted from unitary to federal form of government. Now, mode of political organisms that now I will say you the definition of federalism. Now, the definition of federalism is mode of political organization that units separate state or other polities within an overarching political system in a way that allows each to maintain its own dignity. Now, there is second definition also. Federalism is a system of government in which the power is divided between a central authority and various constituent units of the country. These both definitions are there. You can search on Google also. Now we come forward. In last chapter, we have seen that Belgium was divided into two parts of government. I am giving the explanation of this para. In last chapter, we have seen that Belgium was divided into two parts of government, but the power of regional government was not secure. As we read in here, it was dependent on central government. At any time, central government can withdraw the powers of the state government because central power was having right to take power of state government anytime. But in 1993, you can see this 1993, it took place where it took place. The regional government were given constitutional powers that were no longer dependent on central government. Now, no one can take the power from regional government. Now we come. Now, Belgium was shifted from a unitary to federal form of government. Now we move forward to Sri Lanka. As we studied in our last chapter, there was only one government was there in Sri Lanka. But the Tamil leaders want Sri Lanka to become a federal system. Now we come to a second definition of federalism. Now we will read this. Sri Lanka continues to be for all practical purpose, a unitary system where the national government has all the power. Tamil leader wants Sri Lanka to be a federal system. Now, what this paragraph means? Now, as we studied our last chapter, there was only one government was there in Sri Lanka, but the Tamil leaders want Sri Lanka to be the federal. Now we come to our next definition of federalism is federalism is a system of government in which the power is divided between a central authority and various constituent units of the country. In federal, usually a federalism has two levels of government. In federalism, there are always or more than two levels of government. At the minimum, there should be two levels of government in federalism. One is the government of entire country that is usually responsible for few subjects of common national interest. The other are government at level of the provinces or state that took after much of the day-to-day administrating of their state. Both these levels of government enjoy their powers independent to other of the other. Now I will explain. In federalism, there are always two or more than two levels of the government. In that, one is the government which is for the whole country, which usually is responsible for a few subjects of common national interest. And the second level means the state or the regional government will focus more on day-to-day administrating of the state. But this system, but in this system, both governments are enjoying their power independent of others. In India, also both governments are enjoying, but you will see that then also all are fighting. So I will tell you afterwards because this topic will come forward. So that's all today. We will come in second part with the key features of federalism. Now I want to tell you one more thing. You can see this map. In this map, the red colored countries are that they are known as federal political system. These countries, the red ones countries, are using the federal system. But in our India, we are using the principles of federalism. But our India is not a federal country. In Constitution of India, it has been not written that India is an federal country. But we are using the principles of federalism. Okay? There are only 25 of the world's 193 countries have federal political system. The citizens make up to 40% of the world population. Most of the large countries of the world are federation. Can you notice the exception of this rule in this map? See, Canada is federal, United States of America, India, Pakistan, Russia, Germany, Belgium, Switzerland, Austria, Spain, Brazil, Argentina, all these countries are federal.